Just so we're clear, you do agree that it's a Mammet, right? You don't honestly believe that, you know.
I'm sure he didn't mean what he said about his papa Hildy. Which means, he thinks I'm his mama?
The course of fatherhood never did run smooth, but I, Hildibrand, guardian of Gigi, doting parent extraordinaire, shall find a way to overcome this trial and be reconciled with my beloved son.
That's the spirit. Solving a simple case of childhood rebellion should be easy for a man who's unmasked thieves, defeated duelists, and led armies of the undead.
Yes, that's all very. Wait, what was that about the undead? Actually, don't tell me. For now, all that matters is finding that Mammet. We should begin by speaking with the sentries stationed at the city gates and the airship landing. If Fury help us, he has left Ishgard, we need to know about it sooner rather than later. I will visit the Ark of the Worthy, while the inspector and his assistant head to the airship landing. You can question the guard at the gate near the Manu factory, after which we will regroup there and share our findings. Dismissed.
Do you also feel strangely bereft now that we have perfected our creation? I must find a new project, and quickly.
Don't hesitate if you need my help improving any other tools, anything to get away from filling orders for Rowena. Seriously. Anything.
Little fella with the wide-brimmed hat. He came through here, got passage on a supply ship bound for Falcon's Nest. One of them was named Lalefels, right? Funny little buggers. Seemed keen to be anywhere but here.
Well, if Gigi left the city, it was not by the main gates.
And the sentries at the airship landing have seen no one matching his description.
Falcon's Nest? Fury take me, must we return to that freezing pit of despair?
Wheresoever Gigi goes, I will follow him and find him and embrace him as my son once more. However, I surmise our final destination lies far beyond the walls of said outpost. Indeed, there is but one reason he would return to those frozen wastes. To frolic in the snow and cast his worries to the winds.
Really? He seemed in no mood to frolic when last I saw him. As I recall, he used his arcane powers to mend a vase, only to become morose and belligerent when it became clear to him that he was, in fact, a Mammet. One might even say he remembered what he was, remembered his purpose. And so he returned to Western Coerthus, that famous breeding ground for heresy, where first we found him. Home to his heretic masters, to share with them the intelligence he had gathered on the city. At long last, the undeniable, the unquestionable, the unmistakable scent of heresy. What are we standing around for? We have a heretic to catch.
Inspector, I'm starting to think that Inquisitor Seer might not think very highly of our little girl.
It is possible, but I would not presume to know his feelings ere he voiced them explicitly. Until such time as he does, we should endeavor to surreptitiously bring him round to the opinion that Gigi is a boy of pure heart and good intent. Subtlety in all things, Nashu, that is the Manderville way.
I have got no quarrel with Lalefel's, mind, but you hear things sometimes, like how they have got a scheming nature, how they'll stab you in the calf for a handful of gil, and I like me calves just the way they are. Thank you very much.
Ah, even her footprints are adorable. They almost look like they were made by one of those clockwork minions.
I would know those tiny footprints anywhere. Gigi came this way.
Ha! I knew it! The Mammet immediately left the outpost and looks to have headed north along the river. By the Fury, I cannot wait to finally catch him in the company of heretics.
I don't much like your tone, Inquisitor. If our baby girl ran afoul of any heretics, she'd look them square in the eye and tell them she doesn't want any. Hey, Inspector. I think I just had one of those moments, you know, of insight. Maybe Gigi came out here to find Lord Godbert. I did tell her her grandpapa might like to see that trick of hers.
Brilliant deduction, Nashu. He must be eager to meet his grandparents.
The self-same ones he renounced when he declared you were not his father?
Ah ha ha ha, what a fine young gentleman, eager to explore his heritage. Let us make haste, my friends, for a reunion of 3 generations of Manderville's beckons.
I really can't be bothered.
The tracks continue to the north. The mammoth lies motionless in the snow, fragments of ice stuck to its cap, suggesting the impact of something small and round traveling at high speed.
Ah, my head. Who? Oh, it's you. You followed me.
Oh, Gigi. If you wanted to have a snowball fight with your grandparents, you should have said so earlier. Papa Hildy was very worried, though he is glad to see that you are unharmed.
It would seem he was struck by a snowball, much like these Steinbocks, these dead Steinbocks. Are you sure he isn't damaged?
As if a mere blow to the head could fell our Gigi. We Mandervilles are made of sterner stuff. I myself have been driven headfirst into the earth on no fewer than 24 occasions, several times from malms above, and my mind is no less brilliant for the experience.
I expect the earth was no less brilliant for the experience there. Why are you? Are you nodding? Oh. He's behind me, isn't he?
What good fortune to cross paths with you lot so far from civilization. Forgive me for not taking notice earlier, I was engrossed in my duel with Zhuo Yang. But how rude of me. Would you care to join us? Grandpapa Gobert. Grandpapa Gobert. Mama Nashu says you wield the powers of life and death. I beg of you, Grandpapa Gobert, grant me life. Make me a real boy. Are you sure about this, son? It may sting a little. I will endure whatever I must to become a real boy. Then let us begin. This body, it's everything I ever wanted. It's perfect. Thank you, Grandpapa Gobert, thank you. Oh, but I have not even begun to begin. Byagat, guide my hammer. Papa Hildy. I'm a Manderville man.
Gigi, my son. Come to your father. Let me have a look at you.
Papa Hildy.
Gigi.
Now that brings back some memories. Harper Hildy. Oh dear, who could have done such a thing?
By the Fury, it's just like the vase all over again. Miraculously restored to its original form.
Gigi, my boy. Upon further consideration, I believe that this body may suit you best. It is, how shall I put this, more manageable.
And much more adorable.
But how can I ever be accepted as your son if I remain a mammoth?
Is that what's been troubling you all this time? But why didn't you say so? A Manderville is more than mere flesh and bone. He is vigor, compassion, honor, a gentleman for all seasons. Be you man or machine, it makes no difference. If they call you a mammoth, you look them in the eye and say, "Nay, I am a Manderville mammoth." Mother, Father, forgive me for not consulting with you earlier, but circumstances forced my hand. I have formally adopted Gigi as my son and ward of House Manderville.
You gods, I knew he was fond of the mammoth, but did you hear that, woman? Our son's gone and got himself a son. Grandpapa Gobert. Grandpapa Gobert. Ha, it all makes sense now. Grandpapa Gobert and Grandmama Jewel Yang, I've been waiting years to hear those words. Grandpapa Gobert. Grandmama Jewel Yang.
Few things in life are grander than becoming a grandparent, as they say. Ha ha ha.
What's so bloody grand about it? I'll not be made grandmother to a bloody buggering mammoth. It's past time I beat some sense into my beloved boy.
Fury take me. I'd heard the tales of dark nights before, but... No, it couldn't be. No, I think it was something far worse. Heretical, like as not. But rules be damned, I'm not risking my life to find out. They're mad, utterly mad. The whole damn lot of them. How their house could rise to such prominence, I will never understand. Well, at least the Mammet seems to have overcome its existential crisis. Before today I didn't know a Mammet could even have an existential crisis. Wait, what am I saying? It's a Mammet. Why should I care what it claims to think or feel? Fury take me. Their idiocy is infectious. I mustn't allow myself to fall prey to it. Follow procedure, report to your superior. One step at a time. One step at a time. Right, then. My superiors, having been informed of the Mammet's adoption by House Manderville, as witnessed by House Fordham's, proceeded to take me to task for my gross mishandling of the situation. They remain convinced that the Mammet is the product of heretical machinations and have commanded me to redouble my efforts to prove this incontrovertible fact. That may prove problematic, however, as Gigi seems to have forsaken his quest to recover his memories, and thrown himself wholly into his new life as a Manderville Mammet, casting about for any hint of a case alongside his doting father. In any event, though I do not share my superior's conviction, I think it's safe to say there is something exceedingly unusual about that Mammet. You saw with your own eyes how effortlessly it restored that vase, and itself, to its original form. Reconstructive magics are not particularly rare, but his are unlike any I have ever seen before.